The crystalline halls of the Zorvathian palace gleamed under three suns, casting prismatic shadows that danced across walls carved from living stone. Jessica stood at attention, her human frame dwarfed by the towering alien guards flanking the throne room entrance. 6 months ago, she'd been a cargo pilot running supplies between Earth colonies. Now, through a series of unlikely events involving a crashed freighter and a rescued dignitary, she found herself as one of Queen Shivara's personal guards. "You're thinking too loud again," Finn whispered beside her, his eyes never leaving the corridor ahead. Her fellow human and unexpected companion in this bizarre assignment had a talent for reading her moods. "Just wondering how we ended up here," Jessica muttered back. The Zorvathians were an ancient race, their empire spanning 17 star systems. They were elegant beings, standing nearly 9 feet tall, with skin that shimmered like oil on water and for arms that moved with hypnotic grace. Their military prowess was legendary. Their warriors trained from birth in combat arts that predated human civilization by millennia. And yet, here stood the humans among the Queen's elite guard. The massive doors iorized open, and Queen Shivara glided through, her retinue following in perfect synchronization. Jessica and Finn fell into step, joining the protective formation that surrounded the monarch. The Queen was heading to the diplomatic gardens, where she would meet with ambassadors from the Creathian Dominion, a meeting that had everyone on edge. As they walked, Commander Varax, the captain of the guard, moved closer to Jessica. The massive Zorvathian had initially opposed their inclusion in the guard, but recent events had shifted his perspective. "Human Jessica," his voice resonated like distant thunder, "you will take point position at the eastern archway." It was a position of high responsibility, one typically reserved for the most trusted warriors. Jessica nodded crisply and moved into position as they entered the gardens. The meeting proceeded with the usual diplomatic dance, flowery language masking barely concealed threats, pleasantries that meant nothing, and negotiations that could determine the fate of billions. Jessica remained alert, scanning for threats while trying not to be obvious about it. That's when she noticed a shimmer in the air near the western colonnade, barely perceptible but distinctly wrong. Her enhanced implants, standard issue for human soldiers, picked up a thermal anomaly. Someone was using a cloaking field. Jessica's hand moved to her sidearm as she activated her comm. Possible hostile, western colonnade, cloaked. The garden exploded into chaos. 3 Creathian assassins materialized, their weapons already firing. The first blast caught a Zorvathian guard square in the chest, dropping him instantly. Queen Shivara's shields flared as her guards rushed to surround her, but the assassins were fast and humanly fast. Jessica moved on pure instinct, while Zorvathian warriors were stronger and better trained. Humans had one advantage: they were unpredictable. Where a Zorvathian would engage in honorable combat, Jessica dove low, rolled beneath a plasma bolt, and fired 3 shots in rapid succession. Her compact human weapon, considered primitive by galactic standards, punched through the first assassin's shields with kinetic rounds that their energy defenses weren't calibrated for. Finn was already in motion, tackling the second assassin from behind in a move that no Zorvathian warrior would consider. It was too undignified, too crude, but it worked. They went down hard, and Finn's combat knife found the gap in the alien's armor. The third assassin broke through the defensive line, moving with deadly purpose toward the Queen. Commander Varax moved to intercept, but was too far away. Jessica's mind calculated angles and trajectories in microseconds. She couldn't reach the assassin in time, couldn't get a clean shot without risking hitting the Queen. So she did something completely insane. She threw her weapon, not at the assassin, at the ornamental fountain beside him. The gun struck the fountain's power core, and the resulting explosion of water and energy threw the assassin off balance for just a second. It was enough. Varax's blade took the assassin's head clean off. Silence fell over the garden, broken only by heavy breathing and the sound of water still cascading from the broken fountain. Queen Shivara slowly lowered her personal shields, her four eyes fixing on Jessica with an unreadable expression. The young human stood at attention, expecting a reprimand for the unorthodox tactic that had damaged palace property. "You threw away your weapon," the Queen said, her voice carrying across the garden. "In the middle of combat?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Jessica replied. It seemed like the best option given the circumstances. Finn moved to stand beside her, equally prepared for whatever judgment would come. Varax approached, his massive form still radiating battle-ready tension. He looked at Jessica for a long moment, then did something she'd never seen a Zorvathian do. He laughed. It was a deep, resonating sound that seemed to come from his very core. "You know," Varax said, his eyes gleaming with what might have been respect, "when the Council first suggested adding humans to the Royal Guard, I called them primitive, reckless, and tactically unsound." He paused, his mandibles clicking in what Jessica had learned was a Zorvathian smile. "I should have realized those aren't weaknesses. They're exactly why you're so dangerous." Queen Shavara stepped forward, reaching out with one of her four hands to place it on Jessica's shoulder. "Commander Varax is correct. We have spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of war, following ancient traditions and proven tactics. You humans have spent a fraction of that time finding every possible way to break the rules." Her shimmer skin rippled with colors Jessica had learned indicated amusement. "It is refreshing." Finn cleared his throat. "So we're not in trouble for the fountain?" Varax's laugh boomed out again. "The fountain can be replaced. The Queen cannot." He placed a massive hand on each of their shoulders. "You fought without honor today, without tradition, without any sense of proper form. You fought like humans." His grip tightened slightly, not threatening, but firm with respect. "And you saved our Queen's life. From this day forward, let no one question the place of humans among the Royal Guard." As medics rushed in to tend the wounded and security teams swept the area, Jessica caught Finn's eye. He gave her a slight shrug and a grin. Later that evening, as they stood their usual posts outside the Queen's private chambers, Varax approached again. In his hands, he carried two abject ceremonial blades, forged in the traditional Zorvathian style but sized for human hands. "These are yours now," he said solemnly. "Proof that you are truly members of the Guard." Jessica accepted the blade with both hands, feeling its perfect balance. "Thank you, Commander." Varax's colors shifted to deep purple sincerity. "No, thank you. You've taught this old warrior that perhaps the universe still has lessons to offer." He turned to leave, then paused. "And Jessica, next time you need to throw your weapon, aim for something less expensive than a 1,000-year-old fountain." As his laughter echoed down the corridor, Jessica and Finn exchanged glances. Somehow, to ordinary humans from Earth had found their place among the stars not by being like the aliens around them, but by being unapologetically, recklessly, ingeniously human. And in the vast cosmic game of survival, that might just be humanity's greatest strength.